Hi friends. Okay y'all, if you do not know who RAYE is yet, we need to talk. This woman went from being completely stuck in the music industry cycle to rewriting her own story and taking control of her music trajectory. I've been watching her journey, and honestly it's one of the most interesting transformations I've seen in music history in a while. And with her new album, This Music May Contain Hope, coming out March 27th, it feels like the perfect moment to talk about how she got here. Because RAYE's story is not just about music, it's about taking power back. So RAYE's a British singer-songwriter. She's wrote for some of the biggest people in the industry, and that does include Beyonce. So, yeah. If you didn't understand the caliber of her music, let's at least start there. She was known in the industry, but she was not always exactly pushed as an artist. She had a lot of label struggles and like feeling like she was creatively stuck. It was a very big difference from how she started. For those who may have known RAYE when she started, she came out with a lot more like pop dance music. I'm bad for your love, but I'm your cigarette. So I was like a lot of like dancey, poppy, like almost Afro beats vibes in the back. Collabing with people like Stefflon Don, Mabel. So she started in a completely different spot, and now that I look at it, it definitely gave more of that label push vibe to where she is now, touching vibes of like Adele or Olivia Dean, classy, sultry, almost jazz influenced vibe of music, close to Amy Winehouse, those type of vibes. So that is what RAYE's music exudes. And one thing about the music industry is sometimes the most talented people are truly waiting for their moment for a while, okay? People like Sabrina Carpenter, Chappelle Rowan, Leon Thomas, even Olivia Dean, because I heard that she's been around for a long time. There's a lot of people, Sasha Keeble, a lot of people that have been in the music industry for some time, but are now really starting to get recognition mainstream wise, which we can thank places like TikTok that help that, I will say, because they don't really need labels anymore. As you can see, RAYE's an independent artist, so there's no really need for it when you have places like TikTok, because RAYE's song Baby Where the Hell Is My Husband, I know you've heard it, it's like everywhere, and given TikTok helping push that. So with those type of like platforms helping the music push, it definitely gives a boost to the artist now compared to how things were at one point. And there are many artists that have been in the industry for years upon years but are now finally getting recognition. So RAYE definitely publicly spoke out about having limitations in her label, which is great to see this transparency from artists, especially now, because before you were locked in labels, you were locked in places that you could not get out, you couldn't push yourself musically because you were signed in so many contracts, locked in so many things, had to fulfill this amount of albums to get out. Now as an independent artist, it's I want to say the best time ever, but the best time ever to enter in the industry with needing less of an entire team to back you, I should say. RAYE started to release music on her own terms, and you could tell by the way the music started to sound. And this album had Oscar-winning tears, and I remember hearing Oscar-winning tears for the first time and I wanted to cry.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'm gonna tell you about one of the many men. Name is irrelevant, height is irrelevant. He was a 1 out of 10, I wish that I knew it then. I'm still recovering, oh, truly invulnerable. Baby, baby, you can go and cry.
The artistry behind it, the musical caliber, the instruments, it was a beautiful combination, collaboration of using every single piece you can use to create a beautiful song. Not only RAYE's impeccable voice, which if you started to see RAYE in the beginning, I don't think you knew the type of voice RAYE had until she started to make music that she obviously, it seems she was more geared to and more going for that jazzy vibe. Oscar winning Tears was something like no other. And I think that same album also had Flip a Switch, which featured Coi Leray. And I like that song because I feel like it still had a nod to where RAYE was before, for people that may have liked the industry, the label stuff that she was singing before. That kind of cigarette vibe that Flip a Switch I feel had. What makes RAYE different is that she didn't just complain about the system, she stepped out of it. And once she did that, you could truly hear the difference in the music. Like, it was night and day. If you go back and look at the old discography, I'm so sorry for butchering that word, to now where the music is, it's almost like seeing Sabrina Carpenter at similar vibe of touching that 50s aesthetic that she touches compared to how the music was sounding before she was still finding herself. I think RAYE always knew who she was or knew where she wanted to go, but the label was seeing something differently, which we see happen a lot. She's one of those artists that you feel like you're not just listening to the song, you're almost listening to her utmost personal thoughts in her diary. And I feel that like Oscar winning Tears was a perfect example of that. But even Nightingale Lane that just came out, I think she said in the beginning of the song, it's about the most heartbreaking love story that she's ever known or experienced. And you could feel in each word that RAYE sings that the emotion behind it and how raw it feels, and like almost that you could still feel the pain, like she was just heartbroken the other day. Like, it feels like something that was fresh, and to convey that and communicate that in your music is top tier storytelling.
Right here on this ground is where someone once loved me. Someday someone will.
Okay, we're not only just talking about the voice is on point, but the lyrics that fall behind it, she is telling you a story. And I think that is what lacked in the music previously. It wasn't really a story being told, it was just a catchy song, which is nothing wrong with that, because people go through those type of phases in life. Some people don't want to be a storyteller when they sing, but RAYE is a true storyteller, and you can tell she's a songwriter. You can see the difference when people really write their music and feel all the emotion coming through the music. Now, this music may contain hope. I feel it is the perfect title, and I believe that the music will match it, especially after hearing Where's My Husband and Nightingale Lane, in a time that I feel many people need it. And knowing that RAYE is such a storyteller, I know that this album is going to do everything and give everything that it needs to give, especially from her as an artist and everything that she's probably experiencing now as an artist, and as she's continuing to grow and get bigger and bigger. I feel that she does such a good job at also being relatable. The song Where's My Husband, I think all the girlies could relate to it, especially the girls in their late 20s, early 30s. I feel like the girlies were feeling it. They were loving the song. Even some of the guys, it was so interesting seeing everybody hop on this TikTok trend for Where's My Husband. Like, I think it was the perfect single she could have done to enter or like tease this music and give these people something to talk about. And then inserting something like Nightingale Lane, I feel, was the right move. It was like, get the people hype and then introduce a true story to them. And like, not saying that Where's My Husband wasn't storytelling, because I feel like it was in a way, especially having her grandma at the end, which I loved. But I feel like Nightingale Lane really, then it was the Oscar winning Tears for this album. I think that's what it's going to be. It's an empowering moment that I feel many artists should take with them, and not only artists, but human beings, that you can reclaim the power that was supposed to be yours or once was yours. Creative ownership is everything, okay? It's so important in being able to protect your craft and be able to convey it the way that you want to your audience and building that relationship with them. You don't want to be selling them a dream or something that you don't feel connected to. And RAYE is definitely connecting with her audience and giving them the piece of her that I think she probably wanted to give a while before. What I love about her story is that it teaches us that what we want doesn't always come on the timeline we want. And what is more so destined for us isn't necessarily on our timing. Success can come at any point in life. It comes when you decide to do things the way that God directed you and you were supposed to do to begin with. Whether you're building a career or starting something new or just figuring things out, RAYE's journey is proof that your breakthrough can still be ahead of you. RAYE's transformation is like watching somebody finally step into who they're supposed to be. And I'm really curious to hear how the album unfolds. Are you excited about the new album? Tell me in the comments. And if you are already a RAYE fan, please let me know your favorite song in the comments. I think mine, I have so many, I feel, but I think mine is probably Oscar Winning Tears, because I can hear that song live and by itself without a problem all the time. I also love Where's My Husband? It's so cutesy. But I do love some of the old stuff too, like I, You, Us, You, Never, Never, Never Again. Like I love the old stuff too. And if you love pop culture breakdowns like this, you know what to do. Hit that subscribe button, okay? You need to share, like, comment. Thank you all for watching. I always appreciate sharing my thoughts and moments with you about this. Vin out.
Dress, pick a time and an address, we'll be up on send a call out, send a call out. Calling all my baddest women, it's about to go down. Click, 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 clack, symphony, I need that.